It's that time of the year again where everyone rewatches Harry Potter and spends too much on Amazon. Half-Blood Prince has always been my favorite, but after this year's rewatch, I think I gotta hand it to Prisoner of Azkaban. And as it turns out, that seems to be everyone's favorite for the most part. This movie has always had a special place for me because it was one of the first movies I saw in a theater and it inspired my love for movies. Also, Ronald Weasley sucks. This is the movie that took the step into the dark tone that these movies needed while balancing the wonder and humor of the first two. It also happens to be sandwiched in between my two least favorite Harry Potter movies, so maybe that gives it another boost. This movie perfectly inserts us further into this world by introducing us to bigger threats. Instead of facing just another scary monster, Harry for the first time is seeking vengeance over someone. And then he faces scary monsters, but my point is, the movie deals with real emotional elements while balancing the whimsical nature of this world. In this movie, we really delve further into the whirlpool of emotions of Harry as he finds out about his godfather and the man that betrayed his parents. We see what vengeance can do to someone in a moment of hatred. Kinda like how I hate Ron Weasley. And I think introducing the Dementors really works in this movie's emotional story because it's our first time in this world that we've gotten something this dark and eerie that feels like an unstoppable threat, especially for a group of teenagers. And within that, we get to see that the lightheartedness still exists. There's still joy and hope to be found within our hero as he takes on a threat by himself. It's the first time we see Harry face his demons on his own, and I think it's a really beautiful character arc. Although this movie brings much darker storytelling to light, it also maintains the wonder that we've become accustomed to. We get to see this school of magic from another filmmaker's perspective. Alfonso Cuarón. I hope I'm saying that right. He brings his own unique vision to the franchise that stands out amongst all the other films. Each shot shows us a new side of the school that we haven't seen before, and it feels so fluid. You can see that every frame in the movie was drawn on paper and thought out, and to me this movie has the most personality of the entire franchise. This movie is just beautiful to look at from a filmmaking perspective. I could honestly watch it without the sound and still find enjoyment. Speaking of sound, this is the last movie where the score is composed by John Williams, and I love that he brings his style from the first two movies while offering us a completely new score. The score of the first two movies is just so mesmerizing, and adding that to the most visually appealing Harry Potter movie is just a spectacle. Oh, and did I mention I hate Ron Weasley? This was the movie where I think we got to see more from our actors. Of course, Alan Rickman had a spectacular performance from the very first movie, but this one actually introduces new incredible talent like Gary Oldman and David Thewlis. Not to mention, our lead actors like Daniel Radcliffe are given a chance to really show their acting chops. We get to see him mold into this character even further as a teenager as he starts to stand up for himself. There's this rage that we've never seen from the character, and Daniel Radcliffe stands to prove that he can act. He really showed that he had the acting chops to carry this franchise and be a believable and likable hero. This to me is one of the more interesting stories in the franchise, and for once it doesn't revolve around Harry and his relationship with Voldemort. This one actually deals with Harry discovering more about his family and discovering who helped kill his parents. Although the final act has a bit of an exposition dump, I thought it was a great reveal nonetheless. Prisoner of Azkaban has one of the strongest third acts as it deals with time travel, which sounds ridiculous to say, but somehow it works in this movie. It definitely seems a little odd that they didn't bring it back in further movies, but that's a whole nother story. Seeing a new perspective from the future versions of Harry and Hermione is an entertaining thing to watch, and made for an exciting moment when Harry has to save himself. For once, he's not waiting for someone or something to come save him. This movie delves more into the struggles that Harry faces of never having parents. It's tragic yet hopeful that the Patronus spell he uses relies on the happiest memory that he isn't sure is real or not. It delves more into who Harry is as a person and how his tragic life has affected him. We see him mature further than the peers around him. To me, this movie is about finding light in the darkness, and it becomes obvious when that's what we see on screen. I think it's a really great metaphor, and by the end of the story, we are offered a glimmer of hope that for the most part, all things have become right. Honestly, the series could have ended here if they really wanted it to. Granted, I'm glad it didn't, but to me this felt like a grand finale of a wholesome trilogy filled with that John Williams score and a whole lot of Christmas. This is by far the best Harry Potter. Half-Blood Prince is second. Is this your favorite Harry Potter movie? If not, let me know your favorite in the comments down below. Oh, and one last thing. Ron Weasley should have died. Every time I see him get dragged under that tree in the third movie, I'm hoping that this time he gets massacred.
As a school treat, Ronald Weasley has been destroyed.
I don't know why this dude is thirsted over throughout all these movies, because Ron Weasley is a bitch. Maybe that will be my video next Christmas. So, yeah. Bye.